I landed up in the ER last night, and I was there till about 1 a.m. And the thing that I kept thinking was, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, right? You can have as much money as you want, you can have the dream job of, that you've always wanted, but if you don't have your health, none of it means anything. It ended up being some problem with my kidney. I've got a kidney stone that will hopefully pass, but if not, I'll need a surgical procedure. So today I feel better, but last night I was throwing up, etc. I had pretty bad symptoms, so ended up going to the ER around 7 p.m. and stayed there till 1 a.m. But that just did bring me to that realization, and it just makes me think you've got to do what you want in your life and not worry about what other people think. It's really that important, because you've only got one life to live. Once your health starts to fail, it's very hard to keep up with what you regularly want to do. It's very hard to do things when your body is failing, and I'm not to say that mine is, but it just gives you this realization. And I think a lot of people don't do things because they put things off into the future, or they're afraid what other people will think. But I think there's got to come a time when you start to take ownership and live your life the way you want to live your life, without worrying about what other people think. I was watching this video the other day on YouTube. I think it was the Diary of a CEO, and he was interviewing Alex Hormozi, and he said something like, I've got my notes here somewhere. He said, you have to decide whether you care more about your future than what other people think about you. And that's powerful, because why is it important what someone else thinks about you? It should not be more important what your future should be like. And I think we all forget that sometimes. We have this voice in our head that says, I'm worried about what this person or that person will think. And the other thing he said that stood out to me was, that's a very vague voice in your head. It's not tangible. You don't really know who these people are, or that are going to say these things, or that you're worried about, whose opinion you're worried about. But if you start to distill it and you think very carefully and you try to drill down into who those voices are, you can normally identify 2 to 3 people who you are probably most worried about their opinions. And if you drill down further and you think about that even deeper, you've got to ask yourself, do I really need to be worried about these people's opinions of me? And so just do the thing. There's nothing stopping you. There's no gatekeeping these days. You can do whatever you like within reason, within legality, obviously. Do not bankrupt yourself. Do not do things that are hazardous to your health, obviously, but you can do what you want within reason. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. And I think some of us live our lives not realizing that we are now living in a permissionless society. You don't have to wait for someone's permission to do what you want. So that just gave me a realization of doing what you want. I don't know where this YouTube channel is going to go. I'm just shooting videos every week. I'm recording. Again, the goal is to record 3 a week. This is my second one for the week, and it's already Saturday. So I've only got today and tomorrow to make my 3 up. I've shot one earlier in the week, and I want to keep that consistent and see where this leads. I have no idea where it's going to lead, but I do believe that by doing things like right now, I don't know what I want for the rest of my life. And I think it's okay to admit that. I'm 47 years old. I'm sure there's a lot of people who feel this way. And I think before it might have occurred to me that not everyone or not a lot of people do feel this way, but I think we all have these instances in our life where we don't know, but we don't want to admit to other people that we don't know what's in our future. It's safer, and it's we want people to think that we have a plan for the future. And right now, my plan is to enjoy the rest of my life, to find the things that I'm passionate enough to do and do that for the rest of my life. And the money will follow. I believe that. But I've got to do things to find what that is. That's always the way it's worked in my life. When I was younger and I didn't know what career I wanted to go into, I just did things, all different kinds of jobs, and eventually settled into one for the following 20 odd years. But it's about taking those steps to do something, even if it's not directly related to where you think you're going to end up. So right now, this YouTube channel is my doing, but I also think I need to do things in my life itself, interesting things that I can document on this channel for my own future reflection, but also to help other people who might be in a similar sort of situation. So all to say, 3 videos a week, continuing to do this, seeing where it leads. I'll do this for a year. I'm going to put it out there right now. I'll do this for a full year, 3 videos a week, and see where that leads. I think it's as simple as that. I'll improve over time. I'll learn things. I can't say what I don't know right now, but I think only by doing this is when I'll learn new things about improving how I do this. And maybe this connects me with people who are on the same wavelength. Maybe this connects me with people who are doing things that I might want to do in the future. But I do believe in the serendipity of the whole thing. So we'll be shooting these videos for the foreseeable future for the next year. 3 videos a week. And I've got to keep to that every week. This week was a bit of a struggle, but I'm getting through it. Okay. I think the other thing that just did, it caught my mind, and I'm just remembering now. So I was in the hospital last night, obviously, today feeling a bit better. But I got a text from my boss this morning on a weekend, which is not great management to me. Okay? Whatever the need was could have waited till Monday morning. Nothing's going to get solved over the weekend. So to me, when you're in a leadership position, and that's the way I've always been in my leadership roles, don't make people anxious about something at work when you don't need to. That's probably because you have a fear of your own job that you're doing that kind of thing, because someone from above you is asking you the question or is demanding something. So you kind of just throw it onto the next person. But I think your job as a leader is to take that responsibility onto yourself and have the conversation when it's applicable and relevant, instead of doing that on a weekend. You don't know what the other person's going through, first of all, but secondly, I don't think it's fair to put the other person in a position where they're having to think about things that they shouldn't be when they're not at work. So just a leadership thought of mine. But it also made me think, like, work is not the most important thing, and it has become that, where people's identity is focused on their work, and that's kind of all they are. And I know that people try to say they have a family and they do this and that, but in the US in particular, I found that your identity is largely focused on your work, and that's not what I am about. That's not what I want my life to be about. I'm multifaceted. I have a lot of different interests, and my work doesn't define me. It never has. So take from that what you will. I think I just want to be known as someone who is not defined by their work. Alright, I've been going on for about 10 minutes, so this is my second video for the week. I have one tomorrow, and I don't know what it's going to be about yet, but I'm going to be putting these things out mostly without editing, pretty raw, and see where that ends up. Thanks again for watching.